That's really old.
Welcome to
really
this
old.
week's edition of Movie Club. We've already missed some good jokes, some very fun times. Everybody looks fabulous today. I feel like shit, but that's okay.
Are you
You
sick?
feel, you
Yeah, I
feel
got a
like
chest.
shit?
I got a chest cold, but it's all good.
Dad,
I
are
didn't
you
want to.
like
Past
not taking a
atrocities or what?
multivitamin? Are you not taking care of yourself?
That's
You're
what I'm
getting
saying.
sick so much.
I'm
Yeah.
drinking orange juice.
Is there champagne
That's
in the
not a
orange
good.
juice?
That's not an. It's not an acceptable
What's that?
substitute.
Hold on. Our Chewy's delivery is here, so I gotta let little dog.
Chewies.
Chewy's. Chewy. Isn't that the restaurant she said you guys
That's what I
to
was
go
thinking.
to?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right.
Or Chewy's and Chevy's. Are you
I
serious?
no. I Chevy's is out of business. I've been ordering from Chewy's, but oh my gosh, you guys, I've been like telling people that I've been eating at Chewy's since I was like 8 years old. Turns out,
Embarrassed.
well, they're very
Yeah.
Chewy's and Chevy's. I mean,
So
It's
there's
crazy that they probably didn't even change the logo. They're probably just like, it looks like a U, right?
just,
well, when I looked up the
Squint.
Chevy's logo, but I just thought that they had rebranded since 2001. Like, that didn't seem like a.
it's not in the same location, is it?
No, this
Oh,
one's
okay.
in Belmar, but I don't think there's anything in that Cherry Creek Mall location where Chevy's was.
I believe it.
But
Chucky's.
so you remember El Machino, the tortilla machine?
Machino.
Oh yeah, we can't hear you. Oh
El
Remember
Mach-
that?
El-
You can just say you're muted. That's fine. That also works.
no. Oh,
But,
El
Sorry.
Machino.
did you?
yeah, I heard it like spiring up though.
I think it did.
Yeah, you
Like
too.
I remember like a tower.
Well,
So
maybe
it would-
the
it
one
would-
we had was engineered that way.
Yeah, because I
Could
think
be.
that's how they cooked them, and then they would fall down that little conveyor belt thing, and then there's your tortillas.
And then it would come right to your table.
Yeah, no, they were always hot tortillas coming to your table, so that's good stuff.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. How's everybody's week?
Good. Been
Good.
relaxing.
Not
Being
bad.
That's good.
unemployed is awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, being
Yes.
unemployed is rad.
I get to like do my hobbies now. Finally.
What was that?
Because I think there's a hurt whale.
Damn.
We did that
No,
movie
that's
last
just
week.
Lola laughing.
Oh, look at Lola's right there.
All right, Lola's
Yes,
going to
yes.
be part of the. Did you
Hi,
watch?
Lola.
Get Lola some headphones.
What game is she
No.
playing?
Did she watch the movie?
She's in Skyrim. She did watch the movie.
I love that movie. I convinced him to watch it.
Really?
She should
Oh,
play.
good.
She should play Elden
What
Ring.
does that mean?
Interesting. So
Good.
you needed to be convinced to watch
one of our
No.
movies.
She did not.
do
No,
what?
that is not accurate.
The truth comes out. I didn't convince him to watch Seven
Look, she-
Samurai.
Cutthroat. Wow, look at
Ay,
this.
ay, ay. She's so.
I knew
She's
there was a reason
so
we keep
happy
her
with
around.
herself. You just gave him so much fodder. He almost let it go.
No,
God.
never. So,
Uh,
Luke, why don't you give us a little synopsis of this week's movie?
Okay, so basically you have.
Luke, wait, sorry, couscous. Anyway,
I just got done watching
Okay.
it. You're gonna give me shit, and you can't even keep your kids straight. Like, oh my god. Here,
Which
yeah.
one of us is gay? No, I'm kidding.
whoa.
No, it was a joke.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it was a play on words. Ay, ay, ay. Dad, your movie, your synopsis. Go.
So, this is a kind of a modern take on a classic Western. The good guy, the bad guy. And it's not like a lot of movies where it's, they try to blur the lines between good guys and bad guys. You know who they are. Well, maybe Llewellyn is the only blurred line. But if you look, so it's a guy who he's out hunting, and he's tracking an antelope that he shot, and he sees his track of blood, and it's kind of like a classic Hitchcock movie where it's like kind of like North by Northwest. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm gonna go down these roads, and and he gets himself involved with Scout gets himself involved with some pretty bad characters, and one of them is a psychopath named Sugar that is played by Javier Bardem, which I still think is a pretty freaking amazing performance. I think all the performances in the movie are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But then you got
Except for what's her face's mom.
oh yeah, and
Oh,
that's so okay. So
We don't have to go there yet. We don't have to go there.
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Just want to
But-
put a pin in
But
that.
anyway, it's all those things where you've got somebody who, and I tell you guys this all the time. Where you've got these people. It's all people who do. I guess Llewellyn is like that person that's got nothing to lose, right? I used to tell you guys, be careful, have situational awareness, because there's a lot of people around you who have nothing to lose. And he really didn't have anything to lose. Sugar didn't care. He had nothing to lose, but he just didn't care. And of course, the sheriff, he was just trying to get to retirement, that kind of thing. And so that's the story of those three characters and how they follow each other through this, through basically this sea of violence and pursuit. And it's like one long, slow chase scene, if you think about it in terms of like motion picture chase scenes.
Mhm.
And it's all the steps that they take to get to the end, which I found fascinating. But anyway, I'd like to hear you guys' take on it.
Well,
guess- or Luke, go.
I thought it was a lot of fun. The movie was super suspenseful, and I definitely put myself in everyone's shoes the entire movie. I tried to put myself in the mind of Sugar.
Sugar,
And
honey.
it was tough. It was tough to see what his motives were, because I don't think he had any. I think he was just batshit crazy.
Well, it's like Woody Harrelson kind of explained that, right? To where it's just like he's got this like arbitrary code of conduct that he follows, and that's like what his thing is. I liked it a lot. I had a couple of like core issues with the movies. I think they could have shaved out 3 to 4 like auxiliary characters, and the movie would have been better. But I liked it quite a bit. Like cut out Bill Dauterive, right? AKA the guy from Office Space.
Okay.
But
the guy
why
that
he?
loses his
Go ahead.
stapler.
Go ahead.
I just I could have gone all the way without that entire like subsection, right?
Including Woody Harrelson?
Like Woody, including Woody Harrelson.
What?
I could have removed Woody Harrelson, and I love Woody Harrelson.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
True Detective.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But then we don't so I suppose in a way it could I don't know that I agree that it would have worked without understanding where Sugar was coming from, like who was after him or who had hired him, and that was critical to both of those elements. So are you saying it would have worked if if Sugar was just chasing Llewellyn without knowing anything else? And
Yeah,
without
I
the
like
context that Woody Harrelson's character provides about Sugar?
Yeah, I like the like rogue aspect of that story, of that level of unhinged storytelling.
That's fair. I agree.
Well, but I think the reason that I like the character of the guy in the office, I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy from Office Space, is because not only does he hire Sugar, he hires Woody Harrelson, and somehow there's somebody still hiring whoever ends up getting Llewellyn in the end. Spoiler alert, but
I thought Sugar got him.
that's the cartel.
Right, but how did the cartel know
No,
where he
Sugar
was?
shows Sugar shows up after the
Correct.
cartel's already killed him.
Okay.
Because Tommy Lee comes into the cartel killing Llewellyn, and then
You're right,
they
you're
like
right.
add that extra level of suspense afterwards with him being in the hotel. Lighting in this movie was the best part. Like the lighting is it was like the best. It was my favorite aspect of it.
I
The story
did
was
like that
fantastic.
scene where he comes into the little motel, Desert Sands motel, and then you can see like his silhouette and stuff.
So there's a scene at,
It's neat.
and I'm still not convinced, but so you remember when the sheriff goes back to the hotel and he's going to
Mhm.
go in and he
Mhm.
sees that the lock had been blown out again, just like at Llewellyn's trailer.
Mhm.
hmm
And supposedly you can see Sugar's reflection in that cylinder of the lock. And then he opens the door, but Sugar's not there anymore. And it's a really a bizarre kind of take on what happens in that scene.
Yeah, I don't understand how Sugar gets out of that hotel room. Is it
I-
through the vent? Like, why do they show the vent at the end? What's up with
I
that?
thought he went out through the bathroom window, but I felt certain that he wasn't in the room when the sheriff was in the room.
Right, right. But
I'm
I
not
thought he
gonna
was
lie.
behind the door.
but I don't think he is. Why wouldn't
I
he
don't
have
think
killed the
so.
sheriff? I don't think he's not there, and it's so
Maybe-
He's got
weird.
maybe-
he's got
What
no
motive?
beef with the sheriff. Yeah, like
Yeah,
why
what motive?
would he do why would he do that? Like
That just would like cause more trouble for him. Yeah.
he had in his mind a justifiable reason to kill every single person that he killed in the movie.
Correct,
Just
including
And so
including the initial deputy, because I always wondered
Yeah.
about that. Why didn't he kill that guy out on the road? Well, there was no, it was like I got to set this stuff. I got to set this stuff up so I know I'm successful.
the
And
least
that's how-
believable part of the entire movie is the idea that someone in fitted, high-waisted wool pants could like be nimble enough to take their hands behind their back, guide them down, and then be like, okay. Have you
I
ever put on a
disagree.
pair of those pants?
I think the most unbelievable part of this movie is that somebody would willingly have that haircut and wouldn't do anything about it.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Think about his mental space. He's a crazy psychopath
He's
killer.
a busy man.
Yeah. He doesn't have time for haircuts.
Also,
He doesn't have time for fashion.
So
I did want
okay,
to share what I
Yeah,
thought of the
he
movie at a
looked-
high level.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Eliza.
please.
I think this is probably my favorite movie aside from my own picks. If I'm being honest, I think this is my favorite movie that I've seen, and it wasn't until about an hour and 40 minutes into it that I realized I hadn't heard any music. That's
Yeah.
how in it I was, and all of a sudden I remember saying to Chuck, like, "Wait a fucking second, is there no music in this?" And later, through research, I learned that there is, but it's from like singing bowls and it's frequencies.
Yes.
More than there's not any other instrumental stuff to it. And I thought
Cool.
the tension was consistent. I thought everything again, except for Llewellyn's wife's mother, was played to perfection. And
Yeah.
I loved how they used rural America in a way I can't, like, just these odd cities and then going to Mexico and everything. I just thought it was an almost perfect movie, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I really do. I appreciate the observations that you're making. And you guys know
Yeah.
me. You know I'll nitpick movies, and there are
Mhm.
things about this movie and one of them, Luke, Atticus, you already observed, was if you look at his handcuffs when they're first putting him in the police car, it's like this. When he goes to kill the deputy, there's like all kinds of space in there, man. It's
There's
like,
so much
well,
slack, yeah.
What happened?
Like, wait a minute.
So, it's one of those willing suspension of disbelief. I'll give it that for other things. I had to look and do some research, but two other things that I still think they kind of pissed me off a little bit. One was
Yeah.
the free HBO at the hotel.
That was super funny. I thought
But
that was hilarious.
but
What about him crossing the border?
that I think is probably believable. So you're looking at sometime in the early 70s for this, and
It's 1980. It is 1980.
1970s.
The court. No, it's 1980. The guy says that, like, Chigurh says that quarter is from 1958, and it took
12
2 years to
years.
get to that guy. 22 plus 1958, 22. He said.
Oh, I think he said 12.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
He
remember.
said
when
22. He
it
said
all.
22. It is exactly
All
1980.
right. Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm okay. I thought
I
it
can
was
see
12.
that. It feels like 1980. That feels.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the cars are definitely 1980ish, so that's good. Whew. Now
And
I'm
when
gonna
did
get.
HBO even come into existence?
It was in the early 70s,
When
and the
people
other
had
thing
homes.
was that
I think that's what Dad is getting at. Yeah.
is the when he talks about when Carson Wells says, "I'll take it to ATM," and I was like, "How is it going to take you to ATM 1972? When did that shit come up?" So if it's 80s, I'll do another check, but that's makes it more plausible.
Yeah.
So it is funny how much further in the past, like, what I used to consider something that's contemporary is becoming, and it happened a lot in The Last of Us. Like, when I was watching The Last of Us, I don't know if you guys have watched
No
that
spoilers
yet.
because I have not started it yet, and I'm going to.
Very
watch
good. It's very good. But in the first episode, they're painting this picture that's like, hey, like, this guy's maybe not so organized, like maybe a little struggling with money. And in my head, I thought that they were doing that was him having like a big brick cell phone. And I was like, why does he have that cell phone? Like, even if you're struggling with money, I feel like you're not gonna have a phone like that.
Right.
And Lola was like, yeah, it was because it's the year 2000, dude. Like, that's a pretty okay
Everybody had
phone
a cell
for
phone.
that. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, like.
But
this is
Elijah,
what a
I think
phone
you're
would
right
look like
about
in the year
the
2000. Like, it's just so funny.
about going to
Yeah.
these small towns, and I'll tell you what, one of my fucking favorite scenes in all of motion pictures, and you guys know what how dedicated I am to watching just about everything, is when Chigurh goes to the office of the trailer home park, and that woman is there, and she's like, "May I help you? I can't give you that information."
Yeah, her chin, like
Yeah, and and it's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, psychopath. I can't give you that. And it was like, was he going to kill her?
yes, right. That tension was so
Oh,
palpable.
it was just like, wow.
And you know what's also a couple of things about the trailer park. I think the set design was so fantastic, and costumes and everything like that. They just did such a wonderful job. And I was cracking up looking in Llewellyn's trailer where they're supposed to be poor, and how it's every white girl's fantasy of how to decorate her house nowadays with like rat and fucking shells.
Yeah.
And like the little Papazon chairs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, isn't this like, it's just a funny kind of cycle and turnover.
Yeah.
But
It's the 80s.
it's the 80s, baby. But I have a few questions about like the whole idea. First of all, I liked how Llewellyn would be laying in bed and then all of a sudden he would just sit up like he'd had enough. And it
Yeah.
was like certain seconds that told us so much about his character and what his mind was doing. Like the hours leading up to that split second moment was such efficient character building and storytelling. And I'm curious about everyone's thought of why did he go back to take that guy water? What is it about his character that was so willing to do that? Because I think that that's a very important turning point that I don't know. Of course, the guy's dead, right? Like I thought it was crazy that he would go back at all. I don't know. Like
I thought it was them embodying like prosperation guilt. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it's so like he says it like they're like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm fucking something stupid. Like this
Really
is a bad.
stupid.
Like he knew it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I think that in a way he was going to take that guy water to one, like Ellen strikes me like I don't know. One of the things that I read from his character development was that like he sabotages himself to be like when he's successful, because like
Mm-hmm.
welders make a lot of money. Like welding is a very 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 top tier blue collar job. Like
It's true.
they're 6-figure jobs, easy. You know what I mean? Especially in like even in the 80s, it was like that. And so the idea that this guy that has this like really desirable skill is living in a trailer park, to me, like it's someone who does not want to be successful, right? So, and I see
So
that a little bit in him taking this guy who is obviously dead water.
So I think it goes back
But
to one of the things that if you look at it's when I said earlier, where you know Chigurh's a jackass, he's a psychopathic killer, and you got the sheriff, and so they had to do something with Llewellyn because Llewellyn, okay, he's taking the money, but is that make him a bad guy? So his decision to take the water back to the guy is tied into when he goes to the hotel in Del Rio, and the gal is like, you know, do you want a beer? And he's like, hey, I'm married. He's like, I just offered a beer. He's like, well, you know, when you know what that leads to. He goes, it just leads to another beer, where he's being faithful. So you have to there's putting the character components in here, in him, to be like, well, deep down, he's got morals and he's got a good guy, and you know, so it's those. I think that's where that comes from, is trying to paint him as it's trying to put those components, those brushstrokes that make him not such a bad guy, but a good guy. You know what I mean?
I'm having this moment, and I don't know if it means anything, but so I noticed water taking us through a lot of like kind of the key points of this
Sure.
movie. And taking the water back to the guy was like this redemption. Like could it be a symbol of baptism in some way? Because this is when we're seeing Llewellyn's highest moral ground, going to take water back to the man who was in the truck, denying a beer or a flirtation with this woman who's by a pool, right? Like there's something, and I mean, even when he's on the bridge jumping in, like hiding the money by the water, like there's something going on there that I don't fully understand, and I think plays into the rewatchability of all of it. And there's also something with milk. Because there's the milk in the trailer, and then there's the milk that the little kitty cat is drinking at that hotel. And it's just, there's stuff going on. And this is where I'm like, there's something going on that it went over my head a little bit, but that I'd be interested to dive deeper into.
There is so much going on in this movie. It's so detailed. And I watched it Friday night, and then I watched little pieces that reminded me later, you know, things I wanted to go back and watch again. And Lisa's like trying to sleep, and I'm like, and she goes, "You're gonna watch that movie?" It's like, well, that's the movie we're gonna watch this weekend. That's the movie we're gonna review. She's like, "You've seen it for like 15 times." Well, yeah, at least, you know. And I think there's did you guys notice at the beginning with and it's just so Coen Brothers, like when he kills the deputy and all the boot marks on the floor where they were struggling and fighting, and
it was gorgeous and gory at the same time. Yes, that's like that's what I was gonna say earlier when Atticus was talking about the wool pants, and I was like, I never even thought of that because I was so distracted by the scuff marks.
Yeah.
And it, for some reason, it makes it feel so real, because usually you don't see stuff like that. Yeah. And when it really happens in real, I don't know, it's so odd. And the briefcase, did you know that the briefcase that they're using for the money is the same one that they used in Fargo?
No, really?
Oh,
That's cool.
Speaking of very Coen Brothers things to do.
Yeah, the Coen Brothers love middle America crime stories.
They do.
Oh,
they
yeah.
love it
so
kind
much.
of poor America. Like,
have you seen Burn After Reading?
No.
Yeah.
Oh
it's so
my
good.
God. I think that's one of Brad Pitt's
so
best performances. It's just fucking nuts.
Well,
but,
pick it next time.
Yeah,
This was a good pick, but yeah. I feel so like the coin flips. First of all, I want to talk about the guy at the gas station. The dumbest man in the world, in my opinion.
What the fuck?
It
Give
was
the guy a break.
frustrating
What-
anything
Take him
else.
out. Like,
I was like, God, I wanted Sugar to kill him because I was like,
Why?
he was
So,
driving
okay.
me crazy.
So sometimes in these movies, I will be like, why is this person acting this way? And then I have to remember, like, if I like the guy that gets pulled over and gets like air compressed in the head, I would be like, why would you stop like that? And then how could you not realize that this isn't a real police officer? Like you, like a regular person would react like that.
Oh, of course. If
no,
I'm getting
you've
pulled
got
over
no
by a cop
idea.
car, you assume it's a
You know?
cop, and you want to be on your best behavior, whatever they need. Like we're not inclined to be brave. I think we're in trouble. I think there's a lot of systems in place that become part of our subconscious reactions to even obvious danger.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly agree with that. And
absolutely.
my evidence to that is like I forget how to act and behave in society every time. I can't tell if I'm supposed to swipe my card, use the chip, or tap it.
Oh my God, the panic that runs through my body.
I always just use chip because I'm still got an old card.
I'm tapping now. But every time I tap, there's a little
I'm a
part of me that's
tapper.
like, oh my God, what if this is not a tap?
But
I'm gonna look so dumb.
Well, I
think
use my phone too, so I'll just be like,
Couscous, I think your point is very relevant to this story because it plays into the end when Sheriff is talking to his cousin, and he's talking about how that he feels outmatched, that he doesn't think that there are people like this in the world that are going to do these things. And
Yeah.
and he's a sheriff, right? So at least he's seen some stuff,
Yeah.
not the regular Joe Schmo. And so that's
Right.
the whole thing. It's no country for old men. It's no place for people who don't have the understanding that, hey, there could be somebody out there ready to just kill you
Get your ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like so my one of my favorite characters in The Simpsons is Superintendent Chalmers. And one of the reasons he's my favorite is because every scene he's in, I feel like it's a normal person reacting to this world, like this insane, zany, crazy world, right? And I think that the Coen brothers do such a good job with that dynamic to where it's like like Sugar, you would never meet a person like Sugar ever. Like you're not gonna meet
Very
that
rare.
person.
Right.
What are you gonna go? Like, what are you gonna go locker and they're gonna get you like a pair of they're gonna like go get a pair of Air Force Ones for you out of the back? Like I don't think so. And I get it. There's people that are around there all the time. You got to be looking around, like yada yada yada, right? But I think that what I love about this movie so much is like the dynamics of a caricature of a person interacting with someone who is just acting like a normal person.
I disagree. Like maybe you're not. Maybe I can't guarantee they're psychopaths, but I've definitely interacted with people who are trying to make you look dumb and trip you up and trick you in conversations. And they're like, well, I'm so logical, even though they're being illogical. And the whole dynamic when he first goes to the gas station and he is being difficult on purpose and then is so surprised when the other guy is getting rattled. And it like, while I was getting annoyed with the guy getting rattled, it was also so fucking pretentious and annoying of Sugar. And I've absolutely met people like that who think they're better than other people, who think they're smarter than other people, who think like, let me just see how uncomfortable I can make you. Now, there's also another subset of people who like their brains work differently, like where you could be having what you think is, you both are kind of operating on your initial reaction, but you're just totally missing each other. And the awkwardness of that is something that I felt in those moments too. And I just found that very interesting. Like that scene is like my favorite and least favorite scene of like the whole movie because it's just got so much going on in it.
So
Right.
Did you notice?
Well,
did
it's
you
like-
notice the ridiculous fucking tension of the peanut wrapper opening up.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Yeah.
And if
Ugh.
you
Yeah.
look at that, it's like it's struggling to get and then
Yeah.
you know, something's gonna happen. That's an Alfred Hitchcock that's a Hitchcock type of move. To like, this has nothing to do with the scene, but I'm gonna show you anyway because this is happening while all this other tense shit is going on. So just another little tidbit of that movie that's just incredible.
And
I-
yeah.
I wanted to go to the store that had that Ellis like was getting all of his clothes from so bad,
I know.
or that Llewellyn.
Oh my
was
God,
getting
that-
all
Oh,
ready
yeah,
to go
at
to
the
that
end?
store.
I laughed out loud so hard when he came back to that store in his boots and his hospital gown, and the sales associate was like, "How are those like whatever treat? Like how are they
Yeah.
treat? Like,
How those
oh,
Mayhans? How
Well,
those Mayhans
well,
treating you?
no, but Eliza, it's the exact same thing that you said earlier, to where
Yes.
we get programmed into having these knee jerk, like it's why
Yes.
you ask one that you work with, like, hey, how's it going? Like, you know, you don't care, they don't want to tell you, but you ask because it's like tattooed into your gray matter, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of that was so funny because I felt so. I was like, God damn it, I'm that person. Like, because if somebody
Yeah.
came, I'd be so worried about making that person uncomfortable. I would throw away anything about like, oh my God, am I in danger? Is this? It's just I don't want to have an impolite conversation. I don't want to be impolite, and it could get you killed.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Luke, you've been quiet for a while. What are you doing? What are you thinking over there?
Oh, I'm just listening. Y'all are doing a good job of keeping the conversation flowing, and I feel
Have
like
you met a chagrin in your day, Luke?
I always say, if you haven't met him, then you probably are him, and I haven't met him. So
Oh my gosh, you are him. Wow.
That's like
I thought he's so interesting. And you know what sucks is like the guy who helped jump his car. That's somebody I didn't want him to kill.
dead. Sorry,
And he definitely killed him.
needed
The-
that.
oh
truck.
yeah,
The chicken truck guy?
Yeah.
yeah, the chicken
Yeah.
truck guy.
I honestly didn't want him to kill
he's out.
anyone.
He was
thought-
killing it,
well-
dude. Like, or well, maybe that's a bad choice of words, but the
Right.
chicken truck guy was crushing it, I thought, and he still ended up dead.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, they're getting on. Like he's gonna let this guy go. And then it all
Right.
has to do with the answer to the question. Because there was clearly some contract in Sugar's mind where he's like, if the crates come out, this guy dies. If the crates don't come out, he can live.
Can those crates come out? Yeah.
And like the whole concept that most of the killing he's
Oh,
doing-
really? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Eliza. Sorry, I
Well,
read that
it's
scene
like the
way
cl-
differently.
Oh, really? How'd you read it?
It was I read it was so much more literal. Just like, hey, get those. Like, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not gonna pick those things up. I'm not gonna pick up the jumper cables. No, you need to get those crates out of there because I'm taking your car, whether you like it or not.
But that was after
That's
he
the
was
way that I
shot,
read
right?
it.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Sugar?
Sugar.
Yes.
So Sugar didn't have the physical capability of taking those crates out. So he's like, hey, you got to take those crates out. Then I'm going to kill you.
Whoa, that's not how I took it at all. Because why would the guy take the crates out of the truck? I thought it was like the coin
Yeah.
flip. It's a yes or no question.
And that
And
could be.
depending on the question, that's
could be
his
too.
agreement of like, what does he do with this person? But
Oh, was he just out of coins or something? Like, so he couldn't
well,
do
I'm
the
sure he
flip. So he
wasn't
was like,
out of
let's see if those crates come out.
It was. I think
you
what
know?
Eliza's saying. It's like a logic thing. It's like, okay, I
No,
need this
I
truck
like it.
for this reason,
I like it.
and if those chicken
It's-
crates can't even come out, then I don't need the truck. Then I can just be on my way.
It's more intuitive. It's a more intuitive interpretation. Like that's like why I was saying I took it so literal to where it's just like I don't have time for this. Like
Huh.
get those crates out of there. Like
I also
take
took
them out.
it literally, but
and was it
I
just
think
that
Eliza
he
is right.
wanted
I
to
agree.
switch? Because I'm also thinking like, why? Of course, he needs to switch cars often enough that he can't be traced. But other than that, why would he need the crates out of the truck?
Store
You didn't want to deal with the chickens.
or that, yeah.
Hmm.
So let me ask you guys. There's a very important line in the movie, and I'm
Yes, I would take the money.
And
No,
there's
I
a
wouldn't.
very important line in the movie, and I want you guys to see if it had an impact on you, and then if it did, then what is your take on it? Is when Sugar and
Woody Harrelson's
Woody
character?
Harrelson's character. I was trying to think of the character's name,
I can't remember.
but when they're sitting,
See, the reason you can't remember his name is because he didn't need to be in the movie.
because he's
and-
just Woody Harrelson's so good. I don't care. I just wanna watch
hold
Woody.
on. Let me ask you. When he says, if the rule that brought you here, if the rule you follow brought you to this, what good is the rule?
Mm.
Did you guys notice that? And and then, that's when he goes, you have no idea just how insane you are. But it's that whole, if the rule that brought you here, if the rule you followed brought you here, what good is the rule? And I just think that's, I'm fascinated by that statement at that point in the movie. Because Woody Harrelson knows he's going to die. And that's when he's like, well, you just go fuck yourself or whatever, I mean, isn't that kind of a lesson for life? If the rules you're following brings you to this place, what good is it if it's going to get you killed or if it's going to do that? It's just, I don't know.
But
I-
there's
I mean, like,
no
I
way
think
to
if
know.
I think if I had just gotten into stoicism for the first time, I probably would react to it a little bit stronger. But I think that, like,
Well, if it didn't hit with you guys, then there's no reason to go into it. I
You
think
should. Why not?
no,
That's
there
okay.
is
I
absolutely.
find the line fascinating.
There's absolutely a reason. No, there's absolutely a reason to go into it because healthy discourse is how you improve your perspective. So, with I guess I would like to understand why you resonated with that line so much. Is that because certain aspects of your reality and history have proven that to be true, or like?
No, if you watch how Sugar says the line,
Mhm.
there's a point where he's smiling at first. He goes, if the rule you followed brought you to this, what good is the rule? And it's just a subtle change. It's just brilliant acting on his part. And so I'll say it it just adds to the rewatchability of it. And that's something I never saw in his acting delivering that line until I watched it this time. So
Yeah, Sugar is a smug fucker, that's for sure.
no,
Like-
Well,
Facts.
here's the thing. Here's my issue with that stance is it's just that at that particular moment in time, Sugar, I understand why he could think his rules are the better set of rules because he's in a position of power in that moment.
Yeah, but anyone
However,
with a
and
gun
rules are
has a
clearly
position of power.
very what?
I said, yeah, but anyone with a gun has a position of power, right?
Woody Harrelson.
Well,
he
as,
had a
as
gun
long
too.
as the well, that yeah, he
gun
didn't
in
have
the
the gun
drop.
in. He didn't have a gun in the right place, pointed at the right person in
Well,
that linear sense and interaction.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we don't actually know where Sugar's rules led him because we don't know the end of his story. And so
hmm hmm
my argument is that's a flawed perspective because you won't know until it's too late if your rules were the right rules or the wrong rules.
True.
So it just needs to be more about do your rules align with your values rather than the result of life or death or being in power or not having power. I think for me, when I'm like marinating on that line, it's no, it doesn't work for me.
right on. I loved it. I mean, I thought in that context it was great, but
Well, what does it mean to you? Like, what do you think?
no, I just thought
you read it as-
I just thought from in a cinematic storytelling component for him to say that to him when he knows he's going to die, it just probably elevates the character of Sugar to another level of evil, And
Mhm.
Carson Wells
And there-
wasn't talking
And
about
there-
any fucking rules.
And there's our
just-
smudgeness.
Yeah, and he just throws it out there. Oh, Smudge?
So instead of smugness, it's
Smugness, smudgeness.
It's an office.
Yeah.
It's Michael Scott.
Got it.
From the office, but yeah, no, it's Shiger is a dick. I wish I wish some uppins had come to him in some way, shape, and form.
Well,
The
it did.
compound fracture wasn't enough.
Compound fracture's not enough. I agree.
But you know, it's the coin flip, right? Shiger
What?
does everything correctly. He very meticulous. He looks at his boots after he kills Llewellyn's
What's her
wife,
face? Yeah.
and then he's just driving down the street, happy go lucky. But a coin flip of him
Yeah.
following the rules of going through the green light, and somebody
Mm.
not following the rules hits him, almost kills him, and who knows? I mean, he's got to go to a hospital somewhere, and they're going to be like, well, where are you coming from? Killing this gal over there at the house.
Oh, I was
wait,
murdering this
Are they
lady.
just investigating you at the hospital?
Hey, it's a small town.
And he can't
Well,
just
Tommy
lie?
Lee Jones is not far behind
But
Shiger,
has
but
anyone seen his face? Like, does he have a face that like anyone would recognize? Because
No,
I
he
don't
just
think
kills
anyone
everyone
in
that
the
knows
law
his face,
enforcement
right?
side-
the accountant never saw him.
But do you remember
that accountant dies.
Accountant's dead.
Do you remember when
Is he?
We actually don't. We don't know.
Carson Wells says to Ellen in the Mexican hospital, "So you saw him and you're not dead." So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's probably not a lot of people that see him and live, except those kids.
Except those kids, yeah. I guess
Except
the
those
kids, yeah.
kids.
But they didn't know any better. They were
Those
just
kid-
like, oh god, that guy got fucked
Those
up.
kids
They
seem
were
chill,
literally
yeah.
they kept going, wow, bro, look at your arm, look how fucked up your shit is.
Yeah.
They
Well,
were
and
gonna
why
spend
is
that
it
$100
so
on.
unrealistic
Anyway,
then to believe that the
forget.
accountant isn't alive because he made the same deal with the children that he did with the accountant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
the
right?
accountant's alive. I believe
no,
so. Yeah.
I think the accountant's dead. No,
No, I think he's alive.
no.
Yeah, maybe he
So
is.
here's what I took it as. He's like, "Are you gonna kill me?" Right? And that would be like me saying, "Or is a blind man blind?" You know? He's like, "Did you see me?" And the answer to that question is yes. So
No, I would say nope. No.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, I didn't see
But
shit,
that's
bro.
so.
Like,
That's
They didn't
also
answer.
one of the reasons that this movie is so great in terms of the writing, that it does leave loose ends. I mean, we're left to assume that Llewellyn's wife is killed
See,
because he looks at his boots just like he always does. We're left to assume that. Well, we're left to make up our own minds about the accountant, right?
I guess we're all assuming that the chicken truck guy is dead, but we didn't
Dead.
see a
We
body.
don't know. Yeah, right.
He might have just been left there with the other
Yeah.
truck.
yeah, I think we
I
can
don't know. I don't
deduce
think so.
pretty reasonably that
But
this guy doesn't leave
Yeah.
leave loose ends.
Right.
but he does. He
Hanging.
left the kids.
But that's
Which
because he
means-
had
And he
no
left-
other option. How's he gonna
And he
kill
left the
two
lady
kids?
at the trailer park.
Meanwhile,
That's true, yes.
Like
Same way he's
authorities
gonna
are
kill
already on
anybody
their
else
way.
with that silenced shotgun. Yeah.
Which is so cool. by the
I
way.
will-
What a badass.
I
weapon.
will say, yeah, like when the cartel guy, when he goes to the original cartel while Llewellyn is like fishing out the suitcase and he shoots that one guy in the arm, it's so gnarly. It's like, oh, lordy,
Yeah, that
Well,
it's hard to watch.
shouldn't have been in the cartel.
And I gotta
wait,
say again, just in every movie I've ever seen, go ahead, shoot people. Shooting a dog, oh my god, so much worse.
maybe you skipped The Last of Us.
If there's a dog killing in that, I don't want to watch it.
Take it off your list.
Take it off your list.
But
But
Actually, season one's fun.
Llewellyn had to kill that dog because it was going to kill him.
well, yeah, but even the other dogs that were dead with the people, like when he's walking through
okay.
the trucks and we're seeing all these dead humans,
Oh.
and then I see one dead dog, and I'm like, oh my god.
Can I
Yes.
tell you? Here's one of
Miss
the.
America?
I love this movie. I'll put it up there with the greats. But I kind of didn't buy the whole Llewellyn running from the 4-wheeler truck with people shooting at him while he's on foot.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty-
absolute
I'm pretty
insanity.
sure they would have caught up with him. I'm pretty sure Llewellyn can't run 40 miles an hour.
Did you buy that he was bleeding
can't-
out all night with a
Yeah.
bullet hole?
Yeah, that was. You're right, Luke. That was one where I was like, now wait one fucking.
He literally
second.
he lifts his shirt and it's like 3 shot glasses full of blood come out within 2 seconds. I'm like, okay, well he's empty by the end of by midnight, right?
Oh, that's not even my issue. My issue is that it's nighttime. He leaves to bring the guy water. The sun comes up. He's swimming in the water. And then all of a sudden it's night again. So did the sun come up or not? Or has he been gone?
Yeah,
for
he's
over
trying to
24
walk.
hours?
He's got to walk back.
It's the desert. All bets are off. Could be day, could be night. Who knows?
Who knows?
Wacky times. But that for me was
Solar
an
eclipse.
issue with maybe not an issue with continuity, but there was not enough context for me to understand the timeline in that, and it pulled me out of it briefly in that moment.
Yeah. It is a very good movie. I wouldn't say that it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
close.
damn close, though.
It's close, but yeah, no, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's perfect, but it's close.
So
It's a very
It was pretty darn
good
close.
story. It's a fun time, but everything about it is unrealistic, which is mind blowing, which is why Dad likes it.
It's the second best movie that we've watched.
So
Third
let me give you one thing that
Paddington, and then what's the second?
I will
I liked Enter the Void better.
I will talk about being an asshole. I was watching this, and I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Let's
it's
hear your own
really well.
criticism.
Top 5, top 10 for sure.
And
But
Lisa
there was
said,
a
"Oh, hey,
scene-
Lewis," and you went, "Shut up."
There
Sorry.
was a scene where they were at the morgue, and the sheriff Moss was there, and they were looking at Llewellyn's body and blah 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 blah. And in the background, there was like a plastic paper dispenser. I
Uh-huh.
was like, no way, man. I saw that, and for some reason, for a while, it really ruined the movie for me. Because I know for a fucking fact that shit didn't come out until like late 90s or something. And it just was so out of place. And
It's the desert.
The things that you pick up
And
on.
it made me think about how are the Coen brothers allowing these things to slip through?
Yeah, arrest them.
Well, how do
Well,
you
here's the
know
thing
for
is
that
sure
you
that
just assumed that it was
Take their
more
kids
future.
away. Yeah, just like how you assume the movie was in the 70s.
Well,
He's muted. Thank goodness.
was he doing a fake cinema thing?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Or was
Anyway,
he doing trades?
I'm
He
just
was like-
letting you guys
He was
know
like, "This is
that as hard as I am on the movies that we all watch,
Yeah.
I'm just as nitpicky on the movies that I think are masterpieces. And this is a masterpiece. I'm not going to go away from that. This is a
yeah, the only,
Rashomon level.
the only difference is we
Let's
talked about this
loose.
movie the entire time.
Question. Have you found any flaws in the Banshees of Inisherin?
I need to watch it again, but I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't think so.
I just can't stop thinking about that movie.
I love that
I love it
movie.
so
No,
much.
I love that movie too. You know what? There were
What?
scenes when I was watching this, and
Yeah.
it made me think of how I would compare the two. And I know you shouldn't do that, but yes, that's
That's so fun. Yeah. Sorry. And I know we geek out about this nonsense.
I know.
It probably isn't fun for anybody else, but
Right.
it's just like, gosh, I love that. That movie's like burrowed its way into my heart.
But
And-
it's so much similar in the way it's
Yeah.
like a local. You're talking about small community type people and the things they have to deal with, and it's just as tragic and just as challenging. But and the other thing about this movie you already brought up, I don't know why, and I know that there's probably a way to find out, but why they made that actress who played
oh my God.
Deborah
Yeah.
Jean's mom. What
She's like a
you know
SNL
what?
character.
I think that is the same actress that played Sheriff Moss's secretary. So I think they repurposed her. And just like the accountant, I think the accountant is also the same actor, one of the
You assuming?
actors that was going across the bridge. One of the kids. I think they repurposed him too. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't.
It's easily look. It's easy to look up on the credits. I just never did it. But anyway.
I just did it. She is not the same.
Oh, okay, good.
What is the name of the actress that is
Played the
Llewellyn's wife's mom? Yeah.
Let me see.
And
'Cause
how
I like
old is
that
she?
actress. She did a bad job.
It's Beth Grant.
Beth Grant.
How
I
old is
couldn't
she
stand
in?
that woman. I
How
really
old is she
couldn't.
now?
Yeah.
But think about.
It's not many times you see a Mexican in a suit.
Yeah. First of all,
Yeah. First of
I love
all,
that fucking line.
racist.
But that's who she was. It was just
but
Is anyone good at quick
and for
math?
me, it was like she was.
Oh, sorry. She's in Donnie Darko. That's where I know. That's where I recognized her from. Sorry, Liz. I apologize.
Oh no, that's okay. I kind of forgot what I was going to say though, so it must have not been that important.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But that
yeah.
lady's a good actress, but she did a bad job in this. Yeah,
and it's
I
not
agree.
her fault. I think they were asking her to do something that maybe.
Oh, it's her fault.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. The Coen brothers could have. I just think she was poorly cast. But anyway,
It seems like she was like, you know how they have those trends nowadays where bachelorette parties go out and they dress up as old women and go out for the night. Like she truly looked like she was somebody in her late 20s who had dressed up like an old
Yeah,
person.
it looked like they pretty much had like the white chicks level of
Yeah.
makeup technology,
Yeah.
and they like were just like, this is fine.
so I will
They
have
spent all their job on paper towel dispensers. Sorry, Dad.
yeah, right. Oh, fuck. I will say that they one of my favorite scenes, and I still do. Man, I really love when he goes and talks to his cousin in the wheelchair, and he's like, how'd you know it was me? I deduced it. Well, how'd you do that? I saw your truck. It's like all these. Well, who else would be driving your truck? And talks about when his uncle, or when his dad dies and all that stuff, and how they had to bury him in that old hard caliche. They ain't all waiting on you. What you got ain't new. And it's just that when we think about, and I'll tell you kids, you're young, but when you get older, you'll realize that, yeah, it's going to change. I deal with this at work a lot, where it's like, I work with a lot of younger people who see things differently than I do. And it's like, yeah, they're not waiting on me to fucking figure out what they think. They're going to go ahead and do what they're going to do. I got to figure out how, huh?
I'm lost.
So when Sheriff Moss's cousin tells him they're not all waiting on you, the criminals, and that whole segment of what's changing. That's why you have No Country for Old Men. There's no country for Sheriff Moss anymore. That you have to realize what you're dealing with at the time. And that changes. I mean, you guys have kind of already alluded to it to a certain extent about how what you see and hear are what, the different you guys can be generational now. You can see people that are much younger than you and what they know and don't know, and what access to information they have and don't have. And it's crazy. It's like I said, you'll get it when you get older, but
get what?
That things change and you have to adapt.
And like, so here's my question. Sorry, I'm hearing part of it, but I just want to I want to make sure I'm getting your full message. And so when you're saying that what you relate to is that people aren't waiting on you for what?
To get with the times, baby.
Yeah, to get with the times.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
sorry,
and I say it only because I say it only in the context because that's a line in the movie.
Well,
nobody's waiting on you.
I didn't really understand necessarily. Like, I feel like I heard him say it, but I also was kind of like, God, what the fuck does that really mean?
Because what he said was, he said in the context of how those Comanches came and killed his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, this stuff been going on for a long time. It's just, it's not new. Why are you retiring? Because you're worried about this horrible stuff that's going on out there. Well, it's been around. It's nothing new. So it's
Yeah. Out of the
Nothing new.
cousins monologue, what was more impactful to me personally was when Tommy Lee Jones had asked like if he could have hunted down the man who shot him and killed him, would he?
yeah.
And he was saying that like I can't remember the exact phrase. I wish
I
did.
have it. It's the more you keep trying to get back what's taken from you, the more it keeps going out the door. And that's another fantastic line in
That
that
to me
movie.
was
Yes.
aside from the sales associate asking how those boots were holding up. This was my second favorite line in the movie.
Eliza's the shadow on your face is beautiful. Just so
Oh,
I have a
thank
question
you.
for Pops.
Thank you.
What about this movie makes it a great to you?
Mm.
I
And I want a
Believe-
definitive answer.
I think the whole composition of the writing, the acting, the cinematography, and how they all connect, and there are almost no what I call unnecessary movements. There are slips. There are things that I think are flaws, which I've already pointed out. But I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of movies that are, that are less filled with flaws. I don't know how to put it. And the thing that everything drives the next step. There's a story. I think that everything that happens in the accountant's office or in that guy's office, and I think that Carson Wells is absolutely integral to the movie. I think that the mother is the character itself is absolutely has to be in the movie. I think, like I said, I think they could have done a better job of casting, but other than that, that's how I feel about it. I think it's beautiful in terms of visually and the details, just like Eliza said with some of the things in the sets. I don't know how I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
I think what I like about it, not that you asked, but I want to share.
Eliza, what do you think is great about this movie?
Let me tell you. It feels like a parable from the Bible, but set in a Western. And I feel like I'm being taught about right and wrong and I still am not sure at the end what it all meant, but I still at the
Bad
same
guys
time
always
I
win.
feel what was that, Lukey?
I said bad guys always win.
Well, do they? Because it seems like Tommy Lee Jones had a pretty nice life and retired and was safe. And
You think so?
I thought so. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought he was miserable.
If you look at his closing monologue, he's haunted about having to die and go see his dad out there in all that darkness.
Oh, yeah. I felt, and that's kind of a rewatch thing. I think maybe that's one of my big motivators for a rewatch is that when I was listening to him deliver that monologue, I knew that it was supposed to mean something really big and it was supposed to tie the movie up. And I just felt like he was talking nonsense. So I feel like it would have been more impactful and I don't know how closely that monologue was matched to the book and what he says in the book, but yeah. I found myself wanting to read that in its entirety more than just listen to it. But did you know he got that in one take?
Really? No way.
Yep.
Man, I mean, you think about his performances throughout the years. That one's top notch.
He did
his
good
first
Agent
is obviously Men in Black.
Yeah.
But this is a close second.
Agent K
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Fantastic.
If we're talking favorite lines from the movie, mine was when Ellis was leaving, and he's like, "All right, if I don't make it back, tell Mother I love her." And she's like, "Your mom is dead." He's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll tell her then."
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. And I gotta say, the not the sheriff, but is it his deputy or his partner? An amazing performance out of that actor. So funny, so much
Yeah.
comedy in how they were reacting to each other, how they were, you can tell Tommy Lee Jones was like trying to train this guy, but it was also kind of tired and then you see that dynamic repeated in his interaction with his cousin. And I don't know. I just think it's all, I don't know. I really like this movie and I'm excited to watch it again. And is it Javier Bardem or Bardem?
Javier Bardem.
Bardem.
So wait, talk about the sheriff and the
deputy.
and the deputy when they're going into the trailer for the first time, and the deputy's got his gun out, and he says, "Aren't you gonna get your gun out?" And he's like,
I'm behind you.
"I'm behind you."
So funny. That actor,
It's so
that
good.
is so funny. And
Yeah.
that actor who played the deputy had auditioned multiple times for Llewellyn's character
Really?
and did not get it and ended up as the deputy, which is funny. And also the Llewellyn's role was originally offered to Heath Ledger, who turned down the role to spend more time with his daughter. And when I heard that, I cried because I was like, oh my gosh, thank God he did. Just knowing that he didn't have that much time left to
Yeah.
share. I don't know. There's like just good grief. Beautiful movie. Can't wait to watch it again. And I'm glad Josh Brolin ended up playing that role because he was gorgeous.
Yeah, he
He
killed
was
it.
really good.
What was the tensest moment for you all?
Probably the peanut wrapper.
I thought at the end when with the kids, I didn't know if those kids were coming out.
Yeah. Dad, what about you or Scouty?
It's tough because there's so many of them, but probably probably at the hotel when he shoots when he's sitting there with his sawed-off shotgun waiting for Sugar to come
Yeah.
in.
That is
That's
pretty
mine
great.
too.
Like when he's like got the advantage of having the hallway lights on, and then he goes and turns the hallway lights on.
Right?
Like fuck. Like
Yeah. So
It was
it's a
good.
tense movie. It's like I said, it ranks up there with the Brian De Palma tense and Alfred Hitchcock kind of suspense building on these little things and
Mhm.
little pieces that you see. Like you said, the whole thing with the milk when he comes back down after he jumps out and he sees
Yeah.
the cats are there drinking the milk and the guy's dead on the other side. And I'm like, oh crap, I better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I wish he'd gotten more the fuck out of there. I was yelling at my TV. Like, he kept stopping running. And I
Yeah.
was thinking to myself, maybe
Well-
get a little bit more distance,
And I guess that's the thing with Llewellyn. He doesn't run away. You got to confront what's about to come after you. So that's why he did what he did. But yeah, a little crazy at times. I did feel sorry for the guy who he stopped with the truck. I'm not gonna hurt you, but this fucking maniac behind us, oh shit, he just did.
That
Yeah,
sucked.
so-
But at least that guy didn't really see it coming.
Oh no, nobody saw it coming.
I'm gonna pee my pants. I'll be right back. You can
Okay.
have some.
Anyway, I don't know. It's not perfect because I've already said how I picked things apart on it, and I mean, for me, I think like a movie, and maybe I should rewatch it. But Lawrence of Arabia, I think, is a perfect movie.
I think you should rewatch. I think you should rewatch it.
I just said that. Didn't I just say that, fucker?
I'm sorry, Dad. I actually think Lawrence of Arabia is a really, really great movie. But if you're just gonna softball it in like that,
Okay. I mean, there are things in The Godfather and Godfather 2 where it's very hard to pick out certain things that are flawed or whatever. But yeah, it's not perfect, but it's hard to achieve that perfection.
yeah,
But anyway,
I agree.
so I'll give it. I mean, this doesn't happen. Definitely a double thumbs up.
Did everybody do 2 thumbs?
I
Yeah, I
did.
did
it's
one.
it's
One?
no
Oh,
Paddington
darn.
2, but it's good.
Yeah, I
Um,
give it a 9.5 for me.
A 9.5. Whoa.
yeah.
I think it's a
That's pretty
9.2
fucking
for me.
high, huh? I'm gonna give it a 9 actually.
Why did you change your
9.2.
mind?
Because
Eliza's very easily.
I'm gonna do a
swayed and
9.75 because of the things I already pointed out. But
I'll give it a solid 7 silent shotguns out of 7.
that's shit.
Nice.
That's right.
Mhm.
Or no, out of
Nice.
10. Out of 10. Never mind.
I'll give it 9 Dora the Explorer style haircut.
Damn it!
Every
Now I'm
time- every
remembering I
time-
had something really funny I wanted to use.
I'll give it
that
a
I-
9.75.
Where's the
Larry
gun?
Mayhem boots.
Totally.
So the shirt that he has on at the end when he gets killed in, man, if I could find that Western shirt, I'd buy 100 of them.
Yeah.
What was that?
100 of them.
Okay.
My style is
do
getting
what?
very Western. Is getting pretty Western.
Is it?
Oh yeah, dude.
Man, if you weren't so tall, I'd send you my my embroidered rose Western shirt.
Is that a Michael Myers painting mine?
I
by
have
the
to
way?
wear I have to wear crop stuff. That's a Mike. That's like a Lola. What is this Michael Myers thing? It's like signed by Michael and Myers.
Oh, it's signed by the actor who played. Well, did I get this one signed by John Carpenter?
What?
Is that-
Apparently it's signed by someone named John who was in the Carpenters.
No, John Carpenter is the creator of Halloween. I got it signed by the actor who played the modern.
Lola, just hit him for me, will you?
Modern Halloween by Rob Zombie. But John,
That's
I
pretty
do have
cool.
a picture of Michael Myers signed by John Carpenter. Before he
Nice.
died. R.I.P.
She said she does have an album signed by the Carpenters.
Was this before or after she started? Oh no, never mind. So yeah, okay. Rewatchability. I think we've all
you're
agreed.
muted. Would
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. Did Mike Myers sign it? Like Austin
Yes.
Powers, Mike Myers. Okay.
it says "Oh behave."
That's an autograph I would love.
So I think we
Anyways.
all have agreed it's rewatchability scale. So anyway,
Yeah, for sure. It's a good one. Thank you for blessing us with a beautiful movie.
That was fun
okay,
watching.
good. Hey, so I want everybody to be prepared. Sorry,
Oh my god.
I told you I got a chest cold.
I'm like,
My next pick is going to be a review of each one of our favorite Wes Anderson films. So prepare to watch your movie. We're going to keep going through. It's not my pick. Whose pick is it?
Luke.
Luke.
Paprika. Easy.
yes,
Really? All right.
Paprika. It's time.
Paprika.
But when it is my turn, we're
We're gonna
not
watch
going to
it.
do a traditional.
We'll all watch our own movies and then talk about them.
We'll all decide what our favorite Wes Anderson movie is.
Okay.
And we're gonna all talk about. So we
Yeah.
could end up talking about 4 different movies.
Correct.
I don't know which one's my favorite.
Well, then don't watch any. You won't participate.
Limited.
I know it's not. that
Yeah.
one.
That's Lola's. She loves it.
Is it? It's
Yo,
Lisa's too.
Lola, high five.
We're talking about our favorite Wes Anderson movies, and Luke's
I'm
is the
probably just
Darjeeling Limited.
classic Royal Tenenbaums is probably my number one.
It's a good one. That's not a bad pick.
But I
Mine
really
is-
like The Life Aquatic.
Mine is kind of a
Not a
dark
bad pick.
horse. It's Isle of Dogs.
I love
Isle of
Isle of
Dogs is
Dogs.
good.
Isle of Dogs. is
fantastic
I've
fucking
only seen that
fantastic.
once.
What?
Ooh, it's so good. Very good.
Okay, get ready.
It's how I learned Japan as an archipelago.
I don't even know what archipelago is.
Oh yeah, Eliza.
Wait, isn't that Moonrise Kingdom that talks about the archipelago?
No.
There's a lot of archipelago talk in a lot of Wes Anderson movies.
In the very near future, a group of brilliant scientists have created a machine that can control our dreams. Now, the device is missing. To solve the mystery and save humanity, she must stop the dream terrorists from altering our minds. From Satoshi Kon, the acclaimed director of Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers, comes a visionary tale that crosses the line between reality and imagination. Paprika.
Back on the cartoons.
I want everyone to keep in mind when watching this that this movie inspired Inception.
I would
It's a
also,
masterpiece.
I would
So
also
good.
say I think this is overdue. I think we talked about this like, Jesus, probably 6 months ago. But anyway, and
We should make time for Tokyo Godfathers at some point too. That's so
yeah,
good.
You're the next pick after this one.
What's up, Marty?
This
Yeah, I'll be done in just a couple of minutes, and I'll be able to get it set up for you. Okay.
Animation is not cartoons, okay?
Okay,
Cartoons
all right.
is an animation.
It's cartoon.
Is
All
it
right, you
animated?
guys, I gotta get going. I gotta get
All
the
right,
TV
then.
set up for Margie to watch the Super Bowl.
Perfect. Kansas
Okay.
City, baby. Go Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
We
is
made it,
Kansas
baby.
City in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Nice.
Liza, come on.
I
Oh,
literally have no idea. I
No,
could
I'm-
not tell you who
Damn, I
that
thought
I'm
was.
just
Lola was
joking.
going to lift up
I'm-
her shirt.
I'm actually in the Super Bowl, so I have to go too.
Luke
Okay.
is Patrick Mahomes and Rihanna performing
And
at
Rihanna.
halftime.
Nice.
I'm in a football pool.
Already
That's
know.
the only reason I'm watching.
Bye,
Get
Atticus.
after it. All right, bye.
All right,
Love you
bye-bye.
guys.
Love
Bye,
I
you.
was
Love you.
just gonna tell. Oh,
Are you trailing
Dad,
off, or are you gonna say your thing?
oh, we can sign off of the thing. I just was gonna
Oh.
tell Dad that I watched Billions and Change.
Hold on. We're
Nice.
going to end up the recording. Thank you. Next
Okay.
week for Paprika.
Can't wait.